This is August 31st at 5 p.m. and we are looking at an image sent to me from viewer Rapunzel A from a friend of hers. This is looking from Lone Butte southeast and eastward, and that was a very dramatic sky that we had yesterday afternoon. And you can also see it was a very dramatic sky early in the morning. This is a view from Rapunzel A looking west from Bridge Lake at the glow south of Sheridan. We're going to switch to the webcam from Beto Tree, and this is just before 3 o'clock, and we can see that haze and plumes of smoke combining from this westerly flow, and everything north is quite clear. We're going to look at some images from the Google KML, looking at infrared on the VIIRS system from 3:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But I'm just going to go back and show you these images first from an hour earlier, and then we can see if there's any change. So we've zoomed right in. We're looking at the area between Watch Lake and Sheridan, north of the North Bonaparte Road. This was the activity an hour ago, and now we're looking at the activity at 3:45. So we can see where all the new infrared is occurring by those red indications. We're going to zoom in quite close. It looks like it may be approaching the Sheridan spawning channel, and it looks like it's right up against the Sheridan West Road at number 2 Lake. I am also seeing this flow southeastwards, and you can see that there's this large forested block between the North Bonaparte Road and the Rayfield River, and these maps may not necessarily be up to date. The most up-to-date visual of the ground we have is from the NASA Landsat World View from August 22nd. It was a clear day, and we got to see what the Terra looked like. These may be out of date. There may be actually more cut areas within that forested block. So you have to check with the regional links below in the description and find out exactly where the perimeter is and what it's moving into. We can also see here that the fire on the top of the hill south of Green Lake is moving eastwards. It's not moving northwards. However, there is a lot of new 6-hour infrared being displayed within those fire pockets. So there's still active burning of fuel going on within. We're going to zoom in now to the center of your screen. Look at the area around Watch Lake. I'm seeing older infrared there, the 12-hour. Most of the new activity is east of Watch Lake Road and Green Lake Road. I am seeing about half a dozen new spots in the 6-hour range, about 2 kilometers east of the shores of Green Lake. Unfortunately, Little Green Lake and Lake of the Woods are just not visible on this due to the infrared. It's just obscuring it. And that doesn't mean that sections can be on fire. It's just that this display could be 500 meters to 1 kilometer off, so there may be pockets that are still forested. There's also flare-ups within, and that can be difficult to see through. We're going to go a little bit further south towards Pressy Lake, look at Hutchison Lake, and south of Green Lake, Young Lake. This is probably the good news story of this report. No real new activity close to the lakes themselves. I am seeing a few spots about 2 to 3 kilometers north of Hutchison Lake, but there is still a lot of active fire going on, showing in these yellow 24-hour spots. However, I'm not seeing growth in the last 12 hours. We've rolled into an image south. We're looking east of Loon Lake in the Vedette area. I still see that one isolated spot between Brigade Road and the pipeline. Most of the others are established 24-hour hotspots that are fairly minimal. They look like flare-ups that have been going on for a couple of days, and this area has some long-term issues as far as control in smoldering materials. We're going to take a quick look at high Heum. This is from about just before 3 o'clock, and we're going to roll into an image just before 4 o'clock, and not a lot of change. We do have those fringe new infrared displaying on the northeast flank. It's like lighting paper. It's burning to the outside edges, trying to find new fuel. So that's the main area of concern in this fire flank, but it is still very hot. You can see it's volatile within. And it looks like some of that volatility is trying to escape to the southeast. There's forested pockets showing on this map, but again, it may not be exactly accurate. It may be out of date. But over the last 2-3 days, we've seen 3 or 4 individual fire pockets join together, and now they're becoming one section with its own definitive perimeter. We're going to switch now to the NRC data, and this is showing infrared for the province of British Columbia at approximately 2:45 this afternoon, and lots of activity everywhere, all over the southern interior, the central Cariboo, and down south. We are looking at an image of a fire that was in Washington, and it's crossed over the border northwards, southwest of Cathedral Lakes and southeast of Manning's East Gate. But let's jump back to the Elephant Hill fire. We're going to look at the north flank with the NRC data, and this is the approach to Sheridan from the southwest. We are seeing those infrared right at the southern lakeshore. They can be 500 meters off, and it's just indicating it in this position. So I'm going to say it's about a kilometer and a half southwest of the lake. It looks to have approached number 2 lake, and we are seeing what could be infrared towards the Sheridan spawning channel, and it looks to be approaching North Bonaparte Road. I'm going to switch now to the 12-hour map. This is all the activity that's occurred in the last 12 hours. You can see a lot of these controlled infrared signatures moving in diagonal patterning, and it's overlaying a lot of random sort of natural infrared. We're going to switch to the 6-hour map and see where the most recent activity has been. And I am only seeing 20 new infrareds shown on this specific system. Of course, there can be a lot more. That's why we need to validate the data with multiple sources, and why we want to look at different satellite systems. We are switching over to windy right now. We're looking at 10 kilometers coming virtually from the west, and this is that fire flank. Switching to another computer model on windy, 9 kilometers coming from the northwest, and they are both somewhat consistent, but if you look at midnight tonight, the wind may switch and come from the south. So there's this large arc of air coming from the coast, and it moves northeast, and then it goes up over the hills, and it comes back down from the northwest. So look for changes as this system moves up and down the interior. And please do check the regional links below. Find out where the exact perimeter is, where the evacuation orders and alerts are for your area. And thank you so much for all your comments and encouragement. I really appreciate it. We're in this together. We'll get through together. Thank you for watching, and be safe, everyone.